Hello, my name is Wayne Parker. I own and operate a fishing tackle manufacturing business called Good Day Fishing here in Salem. I wanted to take a moment to talk to you guys about tangles and swivels and line twists, especially from these 360-degree flashers. They pull a lot harder than conventional rectangle flashers, so it's a lot larger load or bigger load on the swivels, and it's showing up in tangles. And almost all the tangles and problems that can be traced back to swivel related problems. I get all kinds of complaints, well, not all kinds, but enough complaints to where you get like this and like this. This is not a cable problem, it's not a mono problem, it's a swivel problem. And line twist. And if your swivels were doing the job, you wouldn't get into this tangled mess. So what I wanted to show you is a different way or a thinking process on doing maintenance on your swivels, especially if you fish tidewater, salt, and if you talk to a commercial fisherman, a lot of them won't fish bead chain over 1 day at a time. The next guy you talk to, he services his swivels on a daily basis. And what I mean by service is that he washes them, cleans them up, and the best way to service them is just take like a WD and just squirt it. And it's all from the dirt and salt and stuff that accumulates and hardens on these swivels, and it stops them from turning. Well, then all of that line twist, that's where you get into trouble with things like this. There's all kinds of reports out there that where, and you might be one of them, where you're trolling down the river with especially one of these 360 flashers, and all of a sudden your pole comes up and everything from the main line back is gone. You just lost 40 or 50 bucks worth of gear on the bottom of the river. That line twist found the weakest spot and it broke and you've lost it. So that's what I wanted to talk to you a little bit today. To start off, swivels, we built this about 10 or 12 years ago to test which swivels works the best. Now, we're not selling swivels or say one company makes a better one than the other. I'm just showing you how important swivels is. So I know that a flasher like this, the 7 or 8 inch one, trolling about 1.5 to 3/4 miles an hour, has a pull of about 1.5 pounds. So that's what we have on this flasher, is 1.5 pounds weight. We have a ball bearing swivel down here, and up here we have 2 different bead chains. And we're turning this, and what is going on here is the best bead chain, the best swivel right now is this ball bearing swivel, and they're usually will outperform the bead chains. But one thing you don't realize is, watch what's going on here. This is turning, this is mono, and right now the swivel's working, but it puts energy up into the mono to where the mono has enough energy that it actually turns the flasher backwards. You see what we're doing? See the swivel? It's working, now it's not working, and that energy is going into the mono, and finally there's enough energy in that mono that it backtracks and overpowers the swivel, and the flasher turns the other direction. Okay, this is just with 1.5 pound load. Now we're out there with this Pro Trolls that has considerably more drag. So the problem becomes more serious, and like at the beginning of the year or last year, the guys started fishing 150, 200 pound bumpers. And that helped the tangle, But what it does then, it just holds it apart, and it forces your swivels to work. But you're still getting line twists. That line twist is going to go somewhere up the pole until something breaks. Okay, now one thing, and that did help some of the tangle problems by going switching from 50, 60 pound cables to a 200-pound mono. It did help the tangles, but it creates other problems, and that is like you go a 200-pound bumper and you're turning it, that affects the Pro Troll. And because you're turning something at 65 thousandths diameter. Well, anytime you turn something 65 thousandths, most likely it's going to go slower and a smaller circle. That's going to affect the Pro Troll, which is going to affect your presentation. So a lot of people, that's one reason why all the confusion that you hear about running a 16-inch bumper, a 20-inch bumper, a 24, or a 30. Nobody really talks about the diameter of their bumper that they're turning. One thing affects another one. So what we've done, we came out with this cable. It's a really high quality cable. Ball bearing swivel, good connection, and we're back down to a 30 thousandths diameter material. Like here's one that it's supposed to look like. It's high quality product. 100 pounds, 140 pound swivel, and it's got like 30 thousandths diameter, so that 30 thousandths diameter is going to turn a circle and help that Pro Troll do its job. Okay, let me talk about the first of all, I'm not pushing one manufacturer's product over another one. That's not my intention. My intention is to bring an awareness to the fishermen that these swivels are causing them a large problem by getting dirty, corroded, salt, and they're not doing their job, and they're causing all these tangles and loss of gear and money. So the best swivel is naturally a ball bearing swivel. And there, with all this stuff, you basically only get what you pay for. You pay a cheap price, you get a cheap product. But the ball bearing swivel will outperform the old bead chain. They do turn easier. Okay, now what's interesting here is, and we proved that, like I said, this is a 1.5 pound load. The bead chain, the old bead chain, at a 1.5 pound load will turn easier than this one, which surprised me. Now, you tie the two together and pull them, the bead chain will lock up and this one will turn. So what that means to me is, which one do you want to troll up and down the river for an hour at a time? This one turns freer than this one. You put a big load on it like a fish, and then this one will outperform this one. The problem there is that this is what you're concerned about, is free turning at a 1.5 pounds, not with a 50-pound fish. That's generally not a problem. So in closing, swivels, swivels, swivels. Maintenance, cleaning up, spraying. Don't take that old green swivel out of your tackle box and expect that Pro Troll to work right without something breaking and losing it. We have these bumpers, we call them, bumper cables. It's very high quality, very good product. They're available in 16-inch bumpers, 18, 20, 24, and 30. And you can run whatever length you want. If you service your swivels, you'll find that you go back to a smaller mono or these cables, and you'll find that it works for you. So thank you for fishing. Good day fishing. See you on the river.